Marcus Garvey and Freemasonry by past master Mchenry. Marcus Garvey was a prominent leader of the Pan-Africanist movement and the founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, UNIA-ACL, in the early 20th century. He advocated for the unity and self-determination of people of African descent worldwide. He also had some connections to Freemasonry, a fraternal organization that has a history of secrecy and symbolism. According to some sources, Garvey became a Mason through the influence of John E. Bruce and Dr. F. W. Elliger, but he did not attend Masonic meetings. He was always too busy, so the connection dropped. He also incorporated some Masonic elements into the structure and rituals of the UNIA, such as titles, degrees, oaths, and ceremonies. He believed that Masonry could provide a model for political organization and secret knowledge for the liberation of African people. However, Garvey's relationship with Freemasonry was not straightforward. He faced opposition and criticism from some Masonic lodges, especially those that were dominated by white members or influenced by European colonialism. He also challenged some of the racial and religious assumptions of Freemasonry, such as the claim that all Masons were descendants of Hiram Abiff, the legendary builder of King Solomon's Temple. He argued that African people had a more ancient and authentic heritage than the biblical narratives. I too share the same position as Garvey and will take it a step further as to state that there were no Europeans present during the building of King Solomon's Temple, if it existed. There is no argument that the melanated people were the first of many great architects of the people of the world. Arguably the biblical Cushite and first warrior king mentioned Gen 10 verse 8 Nimrod would be a precursor to the Masonic Hiram and Solomonic kingdoms. Genesis 10 verse 8 reads Cush was the father of Nimrod, who became a mighty warrior on the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. That is why it is said, like Nimrod, a mighty hunter before the Lord. The first centers of his kingdom were Babylon, Uruk, Akkad, and Calneh, in Shinar. From that land, he went to Assyria, where he built Nineveh, Rehoboth-ir, Calah, and Rezin, which is between Nineveh and Calah, which is the great city. One may raise the argument that Saul was the first king. However, he was the first king of the Israelites while Nimrod was described as a king in the land of Shinar, Lower Mesopotamia. Saul is not mentioned until around 11 BC. I will give a lecture in depth about Nimrod at another time. Back to Brother Garvey, in closing. Garvey's involvement with Freemasonry was part of his larger vision of reclaiming the dignity and identity of African people in the face of oppression and discrimination. He sought to inspire a global mass movement of African redemption that would eventually influence other groups, such as the Nation of Islam and the Rastafari movement. He was a controversial and influential figure who left a lasting legacy in the history of black nationalism and Pan-Africanism. Let's get to the light.